People, what's going on? What's going on, people? What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. This is Man United Central. What's up with my light? It's a little bit dark. I do apologize for that. It's on the dark side. I feel I'm hanging in the dark. What's up with that? I think it's much better. Jeez, I am. We're going to talk about Jadon Sancho, people. Don't worry about my light, okay? It's going to get there. Jeez. You know, what's up with these lights, man? Listen, that's the adventures of being live. What's going to happen? I should have, worked on this before going live, right? I know. Rookie mistake, people. But you know what? It is what it is. We get it done. Let's go, people. Where are we on Jadon Sancho? Where are we on Manuel Ugarte, right? Forget about the light, man. The light, it is what it's going to do. Okay, so let's talk about Jadon Sancho, because we know what Ten Hag, he has been, he said some stuff today on his press conference for the Brighton game, because we know the next game coming up for us is Brighton. And listen, we have to win, okay? We have to win. A loss will be disastrous, right? Because the bloodhounds will be coming for us if we lose, and we're not going to let that happen. Hopefully, right? So let's talk about that. I'm gonna move this a little bit here. That's a little bit on the dark side. I don't know what's up with that. Okay, so Jadon Sancho, Eric Ten Hag, he was asked today on his press conference, right? Basically, he was asking, okay, Jadon Sancho was not available the last game. Is he going to be available this game, right? Is he going to be available? Ten Hag said this. Okay? Ten Hag said yes. He said he can't. He said yes. You can't select all the players. Jeez. Okay. My light almost fell there. That's what it is when you go out live, people. Anything can happen. It is dramatic, right? All right, people. Listen. Yeah. Ten Hag said, yes, you can't select all the players, but you need them all throughout the season, people, right? Ten Hag continues to say, listen, the attitude of the players is very important. Sometimes they'll be disappointed, okay? They have to deal with it, right? So, Ten Hag said this when he was asked a question about Jadon Sancho, right? So he said, listen, some players are going to get game time, some players will not. And if you don't get picked, don't be upset, right? So let's go on and see what else is going on with Jadon Sancho, right? So according to reports, this is according to Sky, they're saying that according to Sky Sports, they're saying apparently Juventus are reportedly determined to sign 40 million star Jadon Sancho, despite his reintegration into Manchester United's team. People, smash a like as you're coming in. Hola, Alex Sanchez. Welcome, my brother. Smash a like as you're coming in. All right. So Juventus are reportedly determined to sign Jadon Sancho, despite him being reintegrated into the team. Manchester United are reportedly interested, right? Interested in bringing in apparently another striker. This report, I'm looking at it from Sky. I'll be like, Sky, listen, man, what are you guys talking about, right? Sky, what are you guys talking about? Because Juventus, first of all, Jadon Sancho is, it's going to cost more than what we're asking for, more than 50 million, right? So Juventus are considering a loan deal for Jadon Sancho with an obligation to buy him at 40 million, right? Based on certain conditions. However, his 20 million gross salary remains a significant problem, right? So again, people, we want to offload Jadon Sancho, but his salary is a hindrance, right? Fabrizio Romano is saying Man United consider Jadon Sancho's situation is still open. So Fabrizio Romano is saying Jadon Sancho's situation is still open, meaning that he could either stay or he could go. Now they could be teams looking at him trying to get him in to try to acquire his services, or he may end up staying. Right. One thing is this: we know that Ten Hag, yes, they may have kissed and make up, but it looks like there's still some kind of they're still not 100% eye to eye, right? So Fabrizio is saying Man United consider Jadon Sancho's situation still open ahead of the final week of the summer transfer window. Juventus have made new contact with Jadon Sancho camp as he's still on the main names on the list. So Jadon Sancho is one of the main names on the list, right? PSG, right? According to Fabrizio, PSG never sent formal bids for Jadon Sancho. Race is still open to other clubs. This is according to Fabrizio Romano. He said, listen, the situation with Jadon Sancho is wide open. He could very well be heading out. The whole, we were all talking about links for him to go to PSG. Apparently, PSG looked at him. They didn't put any bids, right? So situation is wide open. Obviously, Man United wants to offload him if they could, right? Which we shall see. Now, other reports are saying it was also it could also be up to Jadon Sancho to decide whether or not he wants to join Juventus in the summer. He would probably if he was to go to Juventus, you know who he's going to replace, right? He's going to replace Federico Chiesa, who has an exit voucher. Such negotiations have begun, right? So I don't know. Would you guys take, say, for example, United could be able to come up with some kind of a deal where, we get Chiesa and then Jadon Sancho goes the other way? What do you think about that, right? But according to these reports, if Jadon Sancho is to go to Juventus, he's going to be to replace Chiesa, right? And the reports are saying Juventus have a firm interest in signing Man United forward Jadon Sancho. They're exploring the conditions of the deal, right? Talks over personal terms also thought to have taken place, right? It is understood United would consider suitable offers, right? This is according to Sky Sports, right? Now, is Jadon Sancho available to start to play in the Brighton game? Fabrizio Romano said, Jadon Sancho is available. Obviously, he did train with the team. We saw him training, but is he going to start? That is something that I don't know. If you ask me, if I was to bet, I don't see Jadon Sancho starting. People, I don't see him starting, even though he did train. So it could still be the whole attitude situation going on with him. I don't know. It's very interesting, right? According to United's Di Marzio is saying Juventus are considering a loan with an obligation to buy. Again, 40 million. It's been considered for Jadon Sancho. The current problem, however, is to deal with this, obviously, wages, right? Again, Jadon Sancho is getting paid too much money. Not a lot of teams can afford it, right? Ten Hag, again, when he continues to say, listen, availability, he said, we will see. We have a squad. Ten Hag said, listen, we have a squad. I hope we will have a squad with double positioning, right? And when we go into the season, that means you can't select all the players, but you need them all throughout the season. Again, he's saying, listen, we needed a double positioning. Meaning, for example, on the right wing, you have Ahmad, you have Garnacho, right? Kind of situation. Left wing, you have Rashford. It could be Rashford Garnacho. Up top, you have Rasmus Xerxes. In the midfield, you have, of course, Casemiro. You got Kobe Mainu. You got Mount. You got Bruno. And then, obviously, we're going to talk about Ugarte could be coming in. He could also be an option, right? Coming in. So Ten Hag said, listen, he wants to have two players for each position in case of, as a backup, if things go haywire, players get hurt, that's kind of situation. So where does Jadon Sancho fit in this team? It's all up in the air because obviously Ten Hag doesn't think that his attitude is still good enough to play for this team, which we shall see. But Personally, I think, am I, would I be upset if he stays? No, right? Because um, Jay, what's going on? Welcome, Smash and Like Jay, as you're coming in, right? No, but Alex, you know English. Jay is saying we have been after Ugarte for weeks. YouTube says deal was done 3 weeks ago. We're still after Ugarte. I referred your channel to all my friends. Jay, you are the man. I appreciate you, my man. Listen, all right, man. I know. Jay, I know. I feel you. I am right there with you, man. This whole Ugarte thing is insane. All right. So for today, I laugh. Right. I laugh. So okay, we're done with this Jadon Sancho situation. We know Juventus is looking at him. There could be other teams looking at Jadon Sancho as well, right? Trying to acquire his services. So yeah, Jay, we're going to talk about Ugarte here in a little bit, right? So we know other teams are also looking at seeing if they can get Jadon Sancho's services here. And I'm glad that their teams are looking at him, because ideally we want to offload him, right? We want to offload him. Sky Sports is saying, like, look, the negotiations are focused not only on the transfer fee for Jadon Sancho, also on personal terms. So Sancho could serve as a viable alternative for Nico Gonzalez, or complement the squad by filling a wide attacking role. So again, if he was to go to Juventus, that's how they see him. Complement Nico Gonzalez or attacking role, right? Also, he is capable of playing on both left and right flanks, right? So we shall see. Listen, Jay, 20 million for Sancho, man, that would be a huge price cut, man. Again, he still has a long contract with us, right? So I don't know if United will take that. Maybe 35, because United looks like they're demanding. Man United is demanding 40. He's demanding 40 for him. So I don't know if we can get that, right? We initially thought he's going to be able to go to Dortmund, but Dortmund is pretending like they don't have money, which is ridiculous. We know they got money, but they're trying to play hard. They took Sancho in, they made him feel at home, welcomed and everything. Sancho was doing all this dancing in the dressing room, kissing the badge for Dortmund, and Dortmund was like, "Nah, man, we ain't signing you, dude. You're getting paid way too much money. We cannot afford your over 250K weekly salary," which is nuts, right? And that's what the problem that we have right now with Man United players. We pay them too much. Him, Jadon Sancho, Casemiro. It's hard for us to offload him. McTominay, Maguire. Even Lindelof, right? Lindelof is getting paid less than 150K a week, but with other leagues, that's a lot of money, right? So it becomes a problem. We cannot, push these players out of the door. That's why Ineos right now, they're doing all the players that we're signing. We're not giving them crazy salary. We're paying them maybe under, 100, 200K a week. That way we can, if it doesn't work out, for example, next season, Xerxes flops, we can push him out, right? Again, the late, all of them, they're coming in. We don't pay them crazy money, which is good strategy. Hopefully, maybe if Jadon Sancho doesn't go this summer, maybe next summer we can work on that. Maguire, again, is another one who has huge salary. Again, with him, his contract is going to be over maybe by next year. We can offload him as well. Which is good, because now and then we're going to end up having the core of the team, young players on the first, second contract. Bruno Fernandes will be maybe Bruno, Rashi, probably will be the most highest paid players in there, which is okay, right? That way, it's okay. But we shouldn't have a whole bunch of players getting paid crazy money, and then you're going to offload them, right? All right, let's talk about Ugarte, right, Jay? Man, listen. This Ugarte thing is pretty nuts. All right. So with the, based on everything that was coming out yesterday, we thought by today, man, we would have a here we go for Manuel Ugarte, right? We were like, yeah, man, this deal is going to happen. This deal is going to happen. Did it happen? No. Okay, so far it looks like these guys, the folks that are negotiating, it looks like they're kind of, they're playing games with our feelings, honestly, right? They're playing games because we hear Ugarte's deal is close. Ugarte's deal is very, very close. Ugarte's deal really close, imminent. It can happen anytime. All right? Come on, man. The only thing we want is this guy. One thing I know, Ugarte is gonna be a Man United player, guaranteed. That fact I know. Okay, and I believe that's gonna happen. Right now, will it be tomorrow? Will it be later on tonight? Which I don't think so. Right, but it's just one of those, like, it has dragged on for too long. Right, we just want to have him, Fabrizio or Ornstein come and say, hey, this deal is done. Right, personal terms have been agreed since July, dude. Right, so no issue with personal terms. It's just the team, PSG and United. They're trying to recoup the 60 million they paid for him when we signed him when they signed him from Sporting, right? And United, they're saying, listen, this player, you paid 60 million for him last year, and you're trying to get the same amount of money this year? That's ridiculous, right? So United, of course, with the new Ineos team, they're like, listen, we know value of players and stuff like that. We're not like the Glazers, the Woodward and Marta, who just threw money at the problem, right? So Ineos, they don't want to roll like that, because if Ineos, give up and end up paying the 60 million that PSG want, it's their reputation on the line here, because the whole world is watching how we're conducting business, right? So the world is watching. They say, okay, is this going to be the same like the Woodward era, where if you push United, they'll pretty much give up and just throw the money at you, or it's going to be different, right? So Ineos right now, they're trying to say, hey, we are different. We saw what they did with the Branthwaite. Everton were trying to be fools, asking for 70 million. United was like, forget about it. We're out of here. And then they brought in Ugarte. They brought in De Ligt, they brought in Mazraoui, and also they got Euro for, basically same amount of money, plus, of course, Euro was a little bit more, but at least we got quality, and you're able to spend that money well. And that's what this team is trying to do with Barada, Ashworth, Wilcox, right? They're not going to just be throwing money at the problem, thinking like, okay, it's going to fix it, right? So Fabrizio Romano is saying, listen, today on his press conference, Ten Hag was asked, what's the deal with Ugarte? Because we know that Ugarte is heavily linked to Man United. Ten Hag said, listen, Ugarte deal, when we have news, we will let you know, okay? He said, Ten Hag was being cool, man. He was like, just be patient, sit, wait. We are working, of course, very hard, and we will always try to make the best squad possible, right? He basically said, listen, this is on all the transfers in general, right? So, which is pretty good. Ten Hag was like, listen, man, just relax. On the background, we have, people who know what they're doing, working on this situation when it comes to the Ugarte deal. And I think it's going to happen. Will it go all the way to the wire? Because next week, the transfer window closes shut, people. So we don't want it to go to the end, because we don't want another. Remember, guys, the Frankie de Jong saga that summer? We thought, man, Frankie de Jong, it's going to happen, it's going to happen. It didn't happen. But with this one, I believe, because the player wants to come, right? PSG, they know they need the money, right? PSG need the money because they spend the money to bring in João Neves, right? So they want to recoup some of that because of FFP situation as well, because they have to bring some money in, so that works out, right? And of course, United want the player because finally United and this new sporting group like Barada, Ashworth, and them, they're going to address the midfield number 6 situation for us, right? Because the last couple of transfer windows, we had loans, right? Because remember, we had Sabitzer to come in to cover in that midfield. Okay, Sabitzer didn't work. We sent him back. And then last season, we had Amrabat to come in, right? So we've always had this Band-Aid situation to cover instead of having permanent solution. So I'm glad that this time, right? This time, the midfield is going to have some kind of permanent solution, because Ugarte is young. Ugarte He fits the mold of the players that we're trying to go for, right, going forward. And we think that Ineos have identified Ugarte based on his playing style, his tenacity. He can cover the midfield. His energy, right? He has legs because we know either Casemiro's legs kind of last season they were kind of gone. So Ugarte coming in, he's gonna be able to do that job for a long time because again he's young, and he's gonna work in Ten Hag's system, right? So that's good because they've all identified like, listen, this is the player we want to solve that midfield situation. Now, ideally, guys, I would want Ugarte plus one more person, right? We could probably bring back Amrabat because Amrabat is chilling on the side wings, waiting for us to come for him, and it's not going to cost us much. I'll take Ugarte back, right? I saw I was reading online some people talking about bringing Rabiot. That will not be bad either, right? Rabiot is a free agent, but again, Rabiot is going to cost us. His salary may be kind of crazy. So maybe we say, okay, Rabiot, you can come on. You're going to be paid under 200K a week. And maybe with bonuses, you can get more money kind of situation because we know Rabiot coming in, he's going to want quite a bit of money. So ideally, we want two midfielders, right? Okay, so other areas that we need coverage is the left back, and we talked about it yesterday. If you were here on the live, according to Man United and Ten Hag, apparently we're not going to sign a left back, even though look at this: Chelsea offered us Ben Chilwell. Ben Chilwell, can you believe the audacity of Chelsea trying to say, here you go, man, you can have Ben Chilwell? First of all, Ben Chilwell coming into the team, he's going to be hanging out with Luke Shaw in the medical bay of Carrington, right? They're going to be holding hands, playing cards and stuff like that because those two, they can never stay fit, right? So Ben Chilwell, for me, it is a no-no. I would rather not take anyone, right? So I would take, if anything, I would take Sergei Reguilon back because, again, with him, he knows how Ten Hag wants to play, right? So he could work for us if you're trying to put a temporary fix. Because what Ineos they're trying to do is the reason that Laurie Whitwell put in that report saying United may not bring in a left back is because they're trying to find a permanent solution, right, for that left back instead of using again band-aids, just like we did on the midfield by bringing in Amrabat or Sabitzer. They want to bring in a permanent solution. Right now, if you bring in a temporary solution, then it's not really it's not really gonna work, right? So Ten Hag believes that. Listen, he believes Luke Shaw may be okay after he gets back. He may not be injured like that. Terem Malacia is back in training, of course, not 100%. And of course, we have Mazraoui, and he has also Dalot, who can cover that left back position. And worst case scenario, you have Lisandro Martinez, who can also cover the left back position. Because listen, when it comes to defense this time around, we are stacked. Okay, imagine this: we have De Ligt, right? We have Lenny Yoro when he comes back. You have Maguire because he's not going. People, Maguire is staying. You have Lindelof, he's staying. You have Johnny Evans, he's staying. And then you have Dalot, you have Mazraoui, you have Luke Shaw, you have Malacia. So we are stacked. Basically, right now, with that defense that we have, the depth in the defense, we should be able to get the minimum top four with the trophy. You guys let me know if you disagree, because right now, in case of injuries, we are stacked in the defense because the defense last season killed us. There was nobody, right? This time we're good, even in our midfield right now. If Ugarte comes in, right, the midfield with Ugarte, Casemiro, Kobe Mainoo, Mason Mount, Bruno, that midfield is okay. Top four with a trophy. It's doable, I believe, right? So Ten Hag has really no excuse, right? The strike force, okay, we brought in a striker. Martial was injured most of the time. Højlund gets fit, and then boom, you have Xerxes. Come on. We should be on the wing. You have Ahmad, you have Garnacho, you have Rashford. Come on, man. Listen, bare minimum. Top four. You guys let me know what is your bare minimum for Ten Hag this season. All right. Let me know in the comments below. All right. Let me see what you guys are saying. Yes, the 16-year-old Chido Obi Martin was signed. Yeah, Chido yeah, was signed, and he should be given. Yeah, I agree. But Chido Obi Martin is a striker, dude. Jay, Chido Obi Martin, he's signed, and of course he's coming in. He is a striker and a damn good one too for a 16-year-old, right? Now there's some kind of litigation going on with Arsenal. I'm sure that will get resolved, and then he's gonna join the team. And according to what reports we saw that Chido Obi Martin is actually gonna be like our third choice striker, which I like that. I don't want us to bring the likes of we were linked with Ivan Toney and stuff like that. I don't want Ivan Toney, man. I have a feeling you bring in a player like Ivan Toney, right? He's gonna mess that the young striker aura going on for us, right? He's gonna mess with the playing time of Rasmus Højlund, Xerxes, because you bring in Ivan Toney is gonna say, listen, man, I am an established striker, right? I determined I need to be given certain number of games, kind of thing. You have to guarantee him. Yes, he can score, but that should another thing that I find it very weird, right? Ivan Toney, really good striker, but no one is really looking at him, right? Not Arsenal, who needs a striker, they didn't get him. Not who else needed a striker, they didn't get him. Everton, not Everton. Tottenham needed a striker, they didn't get him. They went and got the other guy, Solanke, right? Which is strange. He was there and he wasn't expensive. So again, that is red flags right there. There's a reason why people don't want to sign Ivan Toney. Yes, he played for England and all this stuff, but he comes in with some kind of baggage, which maybe it could mess that the dressing room vibe and all this stuff. So maybe a lot of teams, they're trying to stay away from him, right? So the two strikers that we have, Xerxes, Højlund, and then Chido Obi Martin, he can get a couple of games coming in, which should be in good shape, right? So that is how I like to see, right? I like to see that. Harvey, what's going on, man? Smash a like, Harvey, as you're coming in. I appreciate you being here, Harvey. Thank you so much for hanging out, guys. Jay, FA Cup staying at Old Trafford. Come on, Jay. You know it. FA Cup is staying, man. It has to stay because Ten Hag has spoiled us, right? Ten Hag has spoiled us. 2 seasons, 2 trophies, right? So it only makes sense this season to get us another trophy, right? Because if he doesn't, then he would have failed, which failure is not a Man United thing. We don't fail. Yes, we finished 8th. Okay, fine. But at the end of the day, people were seeing our armpits, right? Liverpool didn't. Arsenal, they finished 2nd. You don't get a trophy if you finish 2nd, right? But people did see us doing one of these, because that's what we do. Man United, we win trophies, man. Okay? And Ten Hag, that's why they also saved his job, because it was listen, in this team, winning trophies is what it's all about, right? So this season, he has a lot to do. And I think Ineos, they have backed him, honestly. They have backed him by bringing him the pieces that he needed, the midfield. And if they bring in, obviously, they're going to bring in Ugarte. They were able to get rid of some of the players. Of course, ideally, we thought we were going to, offload more players. It didn't happen. But again, it's a cliche, but I always say, listen, Rome wasn't built in a day. So there's always the winter transfer window. There's next summer transfer window where we can do business, right? So some of these players that we couldn't offload now, maybe, in the next couple of windows, we'll be able to, do some moves, right? And talking about how Ineos is rolling, we see Jay was talking about Chido Obi Martin. And did you guys see this? Here we go from nowhere. Nobody was talking about this, right? It shows you how Ineos, the way they're thinking ahead, right? We are going to be now, because we have people in the background, right? Dan Ashworth, Wilcox, Barada, people who know football, they're building a team, right? From the ground up, right? Our owner, what's his name? Sir Jim Ratcliffe was saying, listen, we're not going to go and chuck a whole bunch of money and bringing Kylian Mbappe. We want to find the next Kylian Mbappe, right? So Chido Obi Martin was brought in. He's young prospect. Boom. Lenny Yoro, he's young. Again, another one who can go to those heights. Hey, listen, they say Lenny Yoro was the Kylian Mbappe of defending, so we shall see. And then today, check this out. Today we heard Manchester United have agreed a deal to sign 2006 born Mali international talent Sekou Kone from Guiders FC, right? Fabrizio said, here we go, right? Again, another young player. He's a DM. So listen, I've seen some. When I saw this, I went and checked out some of his compilation. You go on YouTube and then you pull him up and see what he can do. Kid is decent. He's decent. He can. Again, he's young, 2006 born. He's a young kid, right? So he has time to elevate his game to that next level, because this new team, Ineos, Barada, Ashworth, Wilcox, they're building a team that can play a certain style, right? Which a lot of people last season were like, yeah, we don't see a style of play when it comes to Manchester United. Thanks, Harvey. Thanks, right? We haven't seen a style of play when it comes to Man United. So, Wilcox, sporting director, they're like, listen, man, we're going to come up with a style of play. Okay? The style of play is something that it should be like, how Liverpool plays, Man City plays, right? Basically, it's like this. Liverpool have a new manager, but have you watched them play? They play similar type of football. Like, you don't see that drop off. The manager comes in, but the players already know how to play a certain way, right? Same thing as Brighton. Brighton, listen, Saturday we're playing Brighton, guys. It is going to be a battle. It's going to be a battle, because those guys, Brighton, when it comes to ball possession, they're going to be all over us. Now, are we going to choke, or are we going to stand up and be counted? Come on, man. Ten Hag and that team, I trust that Ten Hag and that team, they're going to do something, right? They won't be played off the park based on the way we played against Fulham. I know we were at home and all this stuff. I know we're going to play at Brighton. They're going to be at home. It's going to be a whole different ball game. The home vibe, the first game. So it's going to be, fire. But I think the players will be able to step up. So talking about playing style, this new manager came on at Brighton. Again, a young manager, but Brighton has a certain way of playing. So what Ineos is doing now is they're trying to build a certain playing style, right? And you need to have players who can play that playing style, right? Ten Hag last season, he was quoted saying, listen, I cannot play Ajax ball with these players, because again, Ten Hag wants possession ball, aggression, pressing and all this stuff. Our players couldn't do that. People were like, well, they were going at him because, the people were saying, listen, Man United signed you to be our manager so we can see that Ajax type of ball. He couldn't do it because he didn't have the players, right? So how do you fix that? You get a whole bunch of Ajax players. I know, it's funny. It's funny. Listen, and then next thing, you're called Ajax United. No, I'm kidding. I know we have like five Ajax players. People were saying, oh, so because he couldn't play that ball, he just went and got all his ex-Ajax players. No, man. I think Ten Hag believes that the players that he got in, they have an idea on how he wants to play. You have a ball-playing goalkeeper, and then you bring in Delit, Martinez, who can, kind of advance the ball into the midfield to squeeze that midfield, because the midfield was getting overrun last season, right? Which whenever Lisandro Martinez and the lid step into the midfield, then you're kind of squeezing that space. That way, if it's Ugarte, if it's Casemiro, Meno, they don't have to cover, right? They don't have to cover that space as much. I'm gonna say United 2-1. Got my neighbor sitting next. Yo, Jay, what's up? What's up, Jay's neighbor? Welcome. Smash a like. I know you. I wish you could smash a like, but I can see you, Jay's neighbor. Welcome. So, Jay, you think that it's gonna be United 2, Brighton 1? That's what I was going for. I was gonna ask you guys, what is your score prediction for the Brighton game? Yeah, I think we're gonna pull off the win, right? We're gonna pull off the win. You guys, give me on the comments. Give me your predicted lineup for the Brighton game. All right. and then I'll give you mine in a little bit. Um, so basically, Ineos is building something, and again, we have to be patient. We have to be patient with the manager. Yes, we're gonna have stumbling blocks. We're not gonna win all our games, but talking about winning games, guys, if we beat Brighton and then we beat Liverpool, it's gonna be crazy. Okay, people are gonna be talking a whole bunch of stuff about us, like us United folks. Meaning we're gonna be like, yeah, man, that's my manager. We have Ruud van Nistelrooy in there. We're playing different. It's gonna be crazy. We're gonna be talking with a lot of chest. That much I can say, right? But we shall see, because Brighton is one thing, and Liverpool, they're also looking very good. So it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough, but it's exciting, right? So again, talking about let me see. Let me check the Twitter world and see if we have anything on Ugarte. Nothing. Okay. Oh, this is another thing I saw about Ugarte. Apparently, do you know the reason that we had some kind of a delay, right? Apparently, it could be. I forgot where I saw it. One of these reporters was saying uh, um, the owner of PSG, Khalifi, what's his name? There's kind of He feels there's kind of beef with him and Sir Jim Ratcliffe, because they were the Saudi was trying to buy Man United, right? And they failed, and Sir Jim Ratcliffe was able to get Man United. So there's some kind of beef when it comes to these billionaires, right? Between them, they kind of be like, okay, ideally, any other team, for example, if they're negotiating with PSG when it comes to Ugarte, they would have dropped their price instead of sticking with the 60 million valuation for him, right? They could have come up with some kind of deal. But the reason that United is they're facing a lot of roadblock is because PSG owner Al Khalifi from the Saudi, there's that beef, because they feel like they could have been able to secure the purchase of Manchester United, but they failed. And Sir Jim Ratcliffe went on the news, said, listen, he was able to get the deal, and he also said, listen, Altani, he's probably doesn't even exist, kind of situation. So from that part of the world, they have a beef, right? And of course, they have money to burn, right? So they feel like, listen, if we're gonna push United, let's not cut them any slack, right? If we're asking for 60 million, that's what we asked for. There's no point of dropping this price down. Now, at the end of the day, I think we're going to come up with an agreement when it comes to Ugarte for sure, because it only makes sense for them to let him go instead of transfer window closes and then Ugarte is sitting on the bench. You are holding this banner, so no, we're only going to take 60 million. He's sitting on a bench, and then next thing, PSG, you're putting yourself at risk of the PSR. So you don't want that, and you've already spent a whole bunch of money for Jean Neves. So eventually they'll come up with a deal, all right, and Ugarte will be ours. I can say in the next maybe 24 to 48 hours we should have this thing sorted out. What I really want is, I hope and pray, is Ugarte is in, that way he can be sitting on the bench at that Liverpool game, right? Sitting on the bench, not starting, sitting on the bench. That way, in the 60th minute, we can see him, coming in to warm up, to try to get in and get into the game. That's what I want to see, because it's going to be exciting knowing that, okay, we have a solution, right? A permanent solution in that midfield, right? So that's what I'm hoping, and I think it's going to happen, because I don't remember the last time, for example, we had 4 signings in one window, right? Because I'm here looking at that picture, on that game, on the Fulham game, where you had Lenny Yoro, De Ligt, Xerxes, Mazraoui, that picture, all of them together when they're being introduced. That was a nice picture, man. It showed like, listen, Ineos mean business. And because they mean business, they're going to make sure the Ugarte deal gets finalized, because if they fail on that, then again, that is another, a cross in their good good strategy so far. Meaning like they're not going to overpay. They're going to, negotiate, bring these fees down. right? So I hope they continue like this. But at the end of the day, we got to get Ugarte in. And also at the end of the day, it should not be Ugarte coming to us and then we pay 60 million. I think that will make me upset because then that defeats the purpose. Why did you, if you're gonna pay the same amount they're asking for, why did you have to wait until the end of the transfer window? We should have had Ugarte by now with the team, preseason and all this stuff, right? So at the end of the day, if we're gonna drag this to the end of the transfer window, we better not pay 60 million to these guys, right? Because it will be ridiculous in short, right? So that's where we are on that. Let me see if there's anything new on Ugarte. I don't see anything new. One thing I can say that I'm excited about is that Casemiro, he looks like he's trying to come back to his, first season when we signed Casemiro, he played very well. The second season, last season, he was crap. This season, he looks like he's trimmed down. He looks more buff, right? He looks like he's trying to rediscover that his energy in that midfield. So hopefully, he may continue like that. And with Ugarte coming in, Ugarte can also learn a lot from Casemiro because Casemiro has won everything, man. So it's gonna work, right? Those two. Some games most likely we may end up seeing Casemiro and Ugarte in the double pivot. Woo, that'll be fire. And then in front of them you have Bruno. So it will be nice. So guys, listen, my lineup for the Brighton game is gonna go like this. Of course, in goal Onana. Now my back four, it has to be Dalot on the left back, and then it's gonna be Lisandro Martinez. Lisandro Martinez is gonna partner Maguire again. That's what I'm thinking. Ideally, in my head, I would say Ten Hag, play the lit, right? Play the lit. But Maguire played very well last season. Last game against Fulham. And Ten Hag, we know how Ten Hag rolls, right? Ten Hag rewards players who play well. So I don't think he's going to take Maguire out the team. So Maguire's going to start, of course, Mazraoui on the right back. Midfield, come on, it picks itself. Casemiro, Mainu, Bruno. And then up front, I don't think he's going to drop Rashi. So Rashi's going to start. And then right wing is going to be Amad Diallo. He better not drop Amad Diallo, man, for Garnacho, right? So Amad Diallo is going to start. And then up top is going to be Mason Mount again. Yeah, I don't think it's going to start Xerxes, guys. I don't think it's going to start Xerxes because Mason Mount provides you that he's a pressing monster, right? Mason Mount presses. He doesn't give us much, but that's what he does. Off the ball, he presses like crazy. And we saw in that Fulham game, right? When he came off, we dropped off when it comes to pressing. So again, we're going to be away from home. Ten Hag would want us to be pressing them, not allowing Brighton to play, the tiki-taka passing kind of game. We need to break those passes. So I think Ten Hag may go like that, right? You guys let me know if you disagree. If you do, leave a comment on your predicted lineup. Again, my score is going to be Man United 2. And Xerxes is going to score again, guys. Xerxes is going to score again. Man United 2, Brighton 1, just like Jay said. All right, guys, listen. That is all. I'm going to talk to you in the next one. Stay tuned. Hopefully, next time you see this face, it will be Here We Go, Manuel Ugarte. Guys, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Thank you so much for hitting that subscribe and hitting that follow. I will talk to you in the next one. Take care of yourself, people. Peace.